I wanted to kill myself because nobody cares. I had very much anxiety and problems. You are a bit of everything. You are a bit of God, you are a bit of nature, you are a bit of everyone on this planet, but you are still you. You are the main character in your life. You are in the movie. If you give love, you're going to get love back. The love energy is like a circle. It's never going to stop.
Thanks for tuning into the Vibrant Soul Society, The Conversations. I'm your host, Baba Sam, the Miracle Man. Our mission for the show is to remind you and to help you to discover that you are greater than your thoughts. And today we have a bright, vibrant soul with us. So, Cecilia, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you so much for being here.
So, for people that are unaware of you, who is Cecilia?
Yeah, I'm a girl in 37 years old and born in Sweden and living right now on Rhodos. And well, I have a background in lots of areas, but the most is like three things. I think it's like the creative side. I like to paint and stuff. And the other is my intuition and spiritual guidance I give, and the psychological advisor that in coaching areas.
What got you interested in the spiritual path, the intuitive path? What was that shift for you, that pivot point to go that this is my old life, now I'm this way?
It's a very long history. It starts when I grew up because I was raised in a family was one of my parents had narcissistic personality disorder. So it was very much dysfunctional at home. I was the oldest of my brother and sister and needed to be like a mother and help my brother and sister. And I was like what you say, like a problem child when I was growing up, because I feel that this was not a good environment I was growing up in. So I feel something and I had a connection with my intuition side, but in that time I was not aware of what this was or how it's work and everything. So in my childhood, it was more like I guessed and see if it's going to be good or not good, right or wrong, or you guess very much how you're going to be in school or how it's going to be. But when I grow up and bit a little bit older, I understand this was my gift, and I was very lucky that I have my intuition and I listen to it without knowing it so much as a child, because it was a survivor feeling. When I was 17 years old, I was very insecure about myself and not feeling so good as a person. So I had older boyfriend that was like a mentor to me and get me more into like the self-esteem and my creative side. And I was building myself a better me, or understanding to myself. And after that relationship, when I was 25 years old, I need to do these things on my own. Then it started to develop more and more steps to understand my inner self and intuition. And as like 25 to 30, it was like a little bit try and error. I had a downfall, and it was no good experience I had. But when I go over 30, I understand that this intuition gift, I had more courage to help other people. So when I was 30, for 6-7 years ago, then I start working on spiritual phone line that I was giving advice and do tarot readings to people in Sweden. And then they confirmed that I have right in that intuition, or that things I see from the universe and everything. So then I boost myself. It goes in steps. I understand things from my childhood and from my earlier childhood, earlier grown up time, and after 30 and another step. So it has going steps. So like childhood, I have a gift, but I don't understand it, what I feeling or what I do. And from 20 to 30 was experimenting with myself. And as 30 years old, I have knowledge and the courage to understand that I can teach this to other and give advice from my intuition to others.
Yeah, so it sounds like you had a really tough childhood when it was very young. You had a very dysfunctional family. You had to step in and help out your siblings and say something isn't right here. You were just young at that time. You didn't know what. You just like, this family structure is not right. I shouldn't, as a child, be helping my siblings like this. Something is wrong. At that point, were you getting some intuitive guidance that was saying that something is off, something isn't quite right? Was your intuition starting to perk up there, but you didn't realize it at the time?
Yeah. It was exactly that. It was like a feeling that says this is no right. And I had so much anxiety in my childhood. I was like in the outside. It's like I go out from the classes in school and I have like anxiety and tears and cry and was angry without any adult who sees that. It was nothing, no adult who understand why, or don't see that I have like deaf anxiety and stuff like that. But after that process, I think it was something, a survival feeling that come through or something. I don't know really, but it was an experience. Yeah, it was very much anxiety, and it was very much anger from my father that had this narcissistic personality, and he was like testing me, and he's provoked me, and he was like, don't give me right love and see me as who I was. So I was very angry and take it out in school, and it was I had much problem as a child. So, but even if I wanted to die in some years there in my childhood, it's come through on right side. And I find something that was working good for me. And I think my creative side was the savior, because I was starting to paint much and write very much in my native language, that is Swedish. I was always very good at writing and write storytelling. And that was like a channel to me to write in my journal very much of what's happened in my childhood and stuff like that. And I was crying, but I write what I feel. And it was good. And when I get 25, I use this ability to write the book I have today. It was 23 last year. I even translate this book to English. Started my new journey as the intuition and the spiritual guide advisor that I am today, because I write it and it was words that come from nowhere. I didn't understand where the words come from. You need to be like everybody else or listen to other people and stuff like that. And you have blockage maybe from your childhood or experience you have in your life that blockage you to feel love and good energy. So the other side that is about love. I have write about follow your heart, listen to your intuition, and love yourself, about self-esteem, and get more knowledge from your inside and out to get your life you want and to follow your heart and set boundaries. Work with yourself. I think that is what we people need more. We need to let go of everything that everyone else says and follow your own inner path somehow, I think. So that book was writing then on Swedish first at 25, and the words just come from nowhere. And from 25 to 30, it's happened things with me, like the book speaks with me. So I have experienced much things from this subject I write in. I use this book in my work today. Besides my book, I work with emotional intelligence and like to understand your feelings. I think you need to be more aware of your emotions, because we speak so much about IQ and we need to be smart and everything, but it's like the emotional part is we should teach that in school, or we should see the inner worth more.
Yeah, I want to go back a little bit because I think you talked about this. So when you're writing, when it sounds like when you're writing, there was two parts to your writing: the fear side, which is mind-based, and then the love side, which is the heart-based, or you can say the intuitive voice. So was that writing part of your practice, develop your intuitive gift to understand what's coming from the mind and what's coming from the heart? Can you explain more about how that writing process developed your intuition? Because I think that's what you're talking about, that the more you wrote, the more you understood your intuitive voice. Am I understanding that right?
Yes, it was like this bad childhood I have. This older guy that I have as my boyfriend, he like take care of my the worst part. I am a person that can be loved. After that process, when I was healed from my childhood, then I think I start something in my mind and my heart that be more individual, what you say, individual or something like that, to be myself and to be me and not the person from this childhood or from this relationship, to be who I am today and who I want to become. I think I write then from the heart. It was like a self. When you're moving from your childhood to your own place, like you go from your with your parents and your background, you want to see what you want to become in the future. It was a process. It comes back and forth, heart and the mind say something to me, and it's like going inwards to write something. It was a process of being independent. It was like a thing to be independent and feel myself as a grown-up person. I was thinking of life and what I experienced from 25 and back, and how I think life should be if you live from your heart.
Yeah, so what I understand from these two voices is the mind is the everyday stuff, everything that you lived with. And this deeper voice is more clear, more loving, more guiding, more nurturing. The voice of the heart, the soul is this deeper place of just unconditional love, unconditional acceptance. It's that true light within us. And this is the book that I think you translated from Swedish to English, that you when you wrote this book, The True Light of Existence. Was that the book that you translated from Swedish to English? Talk us more about that book and what that's teaching us in that book.
Yeah, I think it's like a guidance book. It's no answer to what is right or what is wrong. It's like a question. In every chapter, when you read the chapter of shame or guilt or norms. When you have read this chapter, you have like reflection question to yourself. How much guilt you feel in your life, or should you feel ashamed of this, or what things you feel ashamed of in your life, and how you work with that. So it's an open-minded book that you have to read to understand. And you can be more aware of yourself. When you take the other side in love, you look in your mirror and say you love yourself and how you see yourself. If you think from 1 to 10, how much you think you love yourself and why you come up with that number. I question you that reading this book to think how it's look in your everyday life. I come up with feelings and things from life and write how I see it, but it's not you don't need to take it, this is right or this is wrong. You should just go to yourself and feel, oh, this I don't have think of, or this is so of course for me, or is to you to start thinking more. It's like you need to process yourself. It's what I want to help the reader do to grow and like thrive and personal grow yourself to be more happy. I go into every like subject and you can get inspiration of it and to add it to your personal growth and how you can come to the point that you let go of bad things, bad behaviors, and other people's thinking, and how you do to love yourself, open up to your awareness and get rid of what you build up for yourself in your inner to not get the life you want and dream of.
Yeah, so it's a book you're talking about, like, the story of the root causes behind guilt, shame, and then you have some questions so you can reflect and learn more about that and get some more insight on what you learned or experienced and perhaps how to move on from feeling guilt, shame, and stepping into your true essence. Do you do anything else in there? Is it just a journaling practice that you have? Or do you also talk about meditation, mindfulness, these other tools as well? Or is the book more of a journaling process?
Yeah, I think it's a process to go through your journey from very low vibration energies like fear and guilt to enjoy and happiness and gratefulness and stuff like that. So it's a process you're going through, and I have write something about a little bit about to live in your to live with yourself in the nature and be present in this time. Something I realize is like present is so cute word we have for say present time, because present is like a gift. You give yourself the gift to live in this moment, and it's very beautiful when you come into that feeling that you feel you are a bit of everything, a bit of God, you are a bit of nature, you are a bit of everyone on this planet, but you are still you. It's so wonderful when you see the flowers and everything around you. So just be in the present and feel you growth with it somehow or some way. You can feel everything at the moment and everything in the same time, and you can feel nothing. And it's okay too. You can feel so much, and it's so beautiful because the human mind is so, and the heart and the human being is so beautiful. We have so much emotions that we can express and use, and it's lovely and beautiful, I think. So we should not be ashamed of how we feel. We should be more like using our emotions to like express how we feel. If we feel grateful or joy. We should express it with words and actions. I think it's so beautiful when we open up to this energy of love and light.
Yeah, and that's an important point. Most people are not even aware that they're not present because if we're in the mind, the mental story, then we're not really here. We're not aware that our feet are on the floor, that everything is happening now. So if you're in a place of guilt, shame, whatever it may be, you're not here. You're entertaining the mind. So it's really about learning to be present and see the joy and the love that's always here. But then we get into these stories. And it's also a good reminder that we're all interconnected. We're all that one thing, whatever that thing is for you, as you call it, the true light. The true light is within all things, and we
Yes.
are that light. So, what are some of the tools and aids that you help people to learn the present moment?
Yeah, I think it's very much to realize that you are the most important person in your life. It's very many people who calling me that are having relationships problem that, oh, this guy, he's looking on the other woman, or he do that and he does that and stuff like that. And not not see everything that see yourself. You are the main character in your life. You are in the movie. You are a movie star. You are like everything. Like see yourself in the context. I like to work with people like see themselves in a context that you can decide everything. If you're not feeling respect in your work or your family relationship, you can do something about it. You can feel inside how this make me feel. How want I feel? What should I feel? What should I feel from myself? What's kind of triggers me to feel that the way I do? So I help people open up and see themselves that as a big person. They are a big person, and because of this like narcissistic childhood I have been abused of, then I see I have very sensitive to see when it's not coming from your heart, when it's going up in your mind, and see when people like, well, either way they can, in one side they can do like be very small. They do like, oh, nobody sees me, I'm so little and nobody cares and I'm so not worthy of anything. But in the other way, people can be very egocentric and say, I am the best person and I ignore everything. So if you see you are a big person, but you have a big heart and you don't lose. If you give love, you're going to get love back. Even if it's not from the same person, you're going to get experience and receive love from others in other contexts. The love energy is like a circle. It's never going to stop. So I think that is important, that you need to see that if you give of yourself, it's not ruin nothing. It's nothing ruined. You just can give more and more, and you receive more and more. So it's like never ending story, I think. So yeah. So see yourself and be like a movie star in your heart. Then you can be like over dramatic or everything in your mind that you want. But if it comes from love and you have boundaries and you know that you don't hurt anyone else, you don't hurt yourself, then it's okay to be very emotional or if it comes from love.
So that's really important. I want to make sure I capture this right. That it's really a good reminder to people that you are the most important person in your life. You're the only one having this experience. You want to be the movie star in your life, but you made a good clarification. Even though you're the movie star, you don't want to hurt yourself and you don't want to hurt others. That's the narcissism that says, I'm better than you, and you belittle people and put stuff down. It's to realize I'm the movie star, I'm in control of my life, and being that
Yeah.
kind, compassionate person. I think that's what you mentioned, just share this love of just say, I'm important, I'm taking care of myself, and there's more than enough love to go around that it will be returned to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you always have like, you can choose. I have chosen to be, now I think I'm very alone and I like to be more alone and painting and do stuff. And when I lived in Sweden, I have had a big apartment and many friends at my place. I had the parties and it was COVID and I wanted to everyone to feel like they can come to me and just be themselves. And it was like we play games and have fun and laughing. And you can be that person too. You don't need to choose between being uh, alone and have your own time and your serious passion way um, and to be like a popular person or be with many people. You can be both. So you give yourself love and you give others love in different areas.
Yeah, that's really good having that party during COVID and having people around during COVID and reminding them that they can enjoy life, they can laugh, they can celebrate life because life is easier when you're happy. When you're depressed, sad, life is very difficult. So we need to flip it around to this laughter and joy and just celebrate life. And now you're taking some time out for yourself, and that's perfect. We always have to live our life. So once we know that we're intuitive, connected to all that is, we may feel alone, but we realize we're never alone, that we're always interconnected. It's
Yeah.
really an interesting outlook that you have developed over the years from the childhood abuse. We didn't get into this relationship with this mentor and how that impacted you. What did he teach you?
I think that was my inner birth. He saw me as I was, even if I was drinking a bit and fooling around. He saw something deep inside me, and it was like he like taking it out and like, hey, why you say like that or do like that? This is so clever and brave. This painting is wonderful. He encouraged me to go through with my thoughts and feelings I had on that time of my life. And it was very, in that time, it was very big to me because no one had understand me and see me ever. So I was a problem, what you say, like rebel teenager. I was out and drink and be party with friends and come home drunk. But my parents didn't see it. I wanted to kill myself because nobody cares. I had very much anxiety and problems, but he sees deep inside me. So I realized that it was a huge part of me. That person was very important because even if we don't have contact now and not are together, so I am where I am today because of him seeing me. I didn't have like good grades in school. So when I meet him, um, I go to school and read up my grads, and I was starting university psychologically in that field. I see even in like Freud psychological explanation how it's work, why a person that are narcissistic are the way he is and stuff like that. So it was a wonderful time to understand the connections between everything I go through and how it's work. So he was like that mentor that stood up for me and pushed me to go forward with who I am and was. I think he was a great person at that time,
Yeah.
and he gave me much love. I think yes.
Mm. That was a great person in your life at that time that really helped you to be seen because a lot of people feel invisible today. So to be seen was important. and then build your self-worth, your confidence, mentor that showed up in your life to help you move forward with your greater expression of yourself. So, Cecilia, people have questions. How can they reach out to you?
Yeah, I have my book is on Amazon if you search on the true light in existence. And I have a Facebook that is Cecilia Unconditional Love, or in my name, Cecilia Ekman. I have a YouTube channel. Well, if you want to contact me and have questions, feel free to contact me on Facebook or my website.
We're going to have all these in the show notes so people have questions and want to step into being the true light in their the true light in their existence. They can reach out to you and how they can deal with a tough childhood with a narcissistic parent. I think it's really important to pull yourself out of that space. Thank you for joining us in the conversation. It was very helpful. Thank you for joining us, Cecilia.
Thank you. Thank you so much to be with you. It's lovely to be here. And thank you, everyone. Thank you. Bye.